Brother Nashi, please share my voice, not my voice note that I am sending you. What I want you to do for me is, can you type down, you can even use a transcript that you can use so that you can be able to hear everything that I am saying and you can read it to your listeners. I do not want my voice to be heard by the rest of South Africa, but my story, it is fine. Everyone can hear my story. I want people to know that some of these things, they are happening like for real. I got married to a man who did money rituals. I have not slept with my husband in a very long time. I last became intimate with my husband, it was in the year 2009. Some of you, if you are a woman, you'll be like, how about you just find a boyfriend that you sleep with? It is not so easy, honey. If I sleep with a man who is not my husband, even if I sleep with my husband, he can eventually die. The last time when we tried it, my husband had to be operated on because his manhood started swelling so big. I did not even tell my husband that I had cheated before. I thought that it was an STI. I did not know that these were the effects of me sleeping with a man, because I am cursed not to sleep with a man but to sleep with a snake. I open my legs, then a snake comes from the ceiling and then it enters into my private parts. I have not slept with a man since 2009. I cheated on my husband the day when we slept with each other, me and my boyfriend, without using protection. The next morning we were in a hotel. He woke up and he said, come and see. He was in the bathroom, and then I saw that his manhood, it was swollen, and his balls, they were like two big football balls, and he was in pain. But when we were still in the hospital, he said that the pain was not too much. But after an hour, he started to call me and he told me that he felt as if there was someone that was pouring boiling water on his manhood. The man went to the hospital and he passed away, but he went to the hospital after a couple of days because he was a married guy. He was scared to let his wife know that he had slept with another woman, and he thought that I had given him an STI. And when my husband became sick, that was when I knew and I started to understand that I am not supposed to sleep with a man, because that man will get sick, his manhood will get swollen, and then he will die. When I walk around, Brother Nashi, even if I walk into a mall, they were these other women that were selling their perfumes. As I was passing their small shop that they have in the mall that is close to the place where I am staying, they were like gossiping about me, and they were like, this one, she's a queen. I felt pain in my heart. I was like, these people, they do not even know that I am going through a lot. Have you ever driven a car that cost more than one person's house? My children, they attend a very private school that is so expensive, and these schools, they are so expensive such that someone who is working right now, at the end of the year, the fees that I pay for my kids, your salary for 2 years won't even be enough just to pay even for registrations and other extra curriculum activities that they do at this private school. So we are always on family vacations. We go to different places. To the outside world, we act as if God did it. But Brother Nashin, we are not self-made millionaires. In our home, we do not even have peace at all. Me and my husband, we got married, Brother Nashin. It was in the year 2005. Back then, me and my husband, we were just two young people with big dreams, but we had empty pockets. He was a hard-working man. My husband, I knew that he was always impatient. He even wanted to get involved in criminal activities, but I always stopped him. He used to say that I will not die as a poor man, even if I have to negotiate with the devil himself. When he spoke of the devil, truly speaking, I did not know that my husband, he meant the real devil. I just thought that maybe he was talking about some crime bosses. Honestly speaking, that is what I thought at the time. I never knew that my husband, he was speaking of the real devil whenever he spoke about him going to the devil so that he can negotiate and sell his soul to the devil. So my husband, he was very ambitious. I was the one that used to stop him. In 2008, around 2008, everything changed when there was this other man that came to stay at his parents' house. By then we were also staying at my husband's parents' house. We had our own shack that we had built at the back of the RDP. So my husband, he started to be friends with this guy that was from Zim. I did not know that my husband, he had already communicated with this guy and he wanted to go to Mozambique with this man, because this guy, he was a sketchy character. One could not understand if he was a traditional healer, if he was a magician, or if he was a pastor. He did everything. Sometimes you would think that he's a sangoma. Another day, he is wearing a suit and he's going to church. He even joined the Jehovah's Witness. He was going there, but after returning back from the church, and then he will start to consult with people, and those people would be paying, and they will come back and complain, saying that the charms that he gave to them, they are not working at all. So my husband, he was always around this sketchy character. Within a very short period of time, after my husband had lied to me, he told me later on that he lied. He had gone to Mozambique when he told me that he wanted to go to the Eastern Cape. Since I knew that my husband, he was doing some piece jobs, and this guy, the Zimbabwean guy, he was also a builder. And when my husband said that he wanted to go with this Zimbabwean guy to do some piece jobs in the Eastern Cape, I was happy that my husband, at least now, he was starting to take matters into his own hands. He was no longer lazing around. When he came back, there was money all of a sudden. He would wake up and he would be like, oh, yesterday I forgot to tell you that I went to do this other piece job, and when I went to do that piece job, this is the money that I got. Brother Nashi, I did not know that we had a snake that was now vomiting money in my own house. We moved from the shack, and then we started to stay in a 2-bedroom house in the suburbs. This was so awesome, Brother Nashi, to stay in a house where we had our own in-suit, a bathroom, a tub, because I was used to be washing myself in a plastic dish like all of my life. And now I was staying in the suburbs close to the mall. I thought that we were blessed. I did not know that my husband had done some money rituals. Then that was when my husband stopped touching me. He did not touch me as a man touches his wife. And all of a sudden, whenever I would try to get on top of him when he was fast asleep, because when he is sleeping, I can see his manhood going up and down, because he would be sleeping with a spiritual wife. This I did not even know that this is what is happening, because he was scared to tell me that, honey, this is what is happening. This is where we are getting our money from. How was I supposed to know? So I would get on top of him and he would throw me away. He would be mad at me and say, what are you trying to do? You are going to mess up everything. Your brother, how could I have ever known that we are having a snake that is vomiting money into the bathtub? I started to have strange dreams. I was like having dreams. I would see a snake, and this snake, when it comes in my dreams, I would undress myself and get ready, and it would come and sleep with me. I said those were weird dreams. And I thought that my husband, he was cheating on me. For months, I would cry. I would beg him to sleep with me, to tell me what was wrong. I thought that my husband was having an affair with another woman. I even hired a private investigator, but this man said that your husband is clean. My husband did not go to clubs. He goes out. He is with his rich friends. No side chick, nothing. By then we had opened our own small construction company. He would be at the office, and I did not even understand what was happening. I said, is this guy gay? What is going on? I was tired of asking. Then the cheating happened, the boyfriend died, then I slept with my husband was admitted. Then as time went on, that was when I started to understand. My husband, he went with this other team. They went to learn some construction stuff in Zurich. That was when he forgot to lock this other door. Now we had moved into a bigger house, which was a mansion which was staying in at that time. I opened that room, and then I saw that there were boxes and boxes of different charms, as well as names, photographs. There was a photograph of me and my husband and our kids. They were pinned together in another box. Then there was a box. These boxes that I am talking about, these were little coffins, red, black. Me and my husband, pictures and the names, we were inside a white coffin. Then his other family members. What I noticed was that those people that were inside the red little coffin, the names and the pictures, they have already died, and there was a little bit of soil that was inside. And the ones that were in the black coffin, they were his relatives that were sick here and there. And I was shocked. I thought that maybe my husband is now a sangoma. I could not understand what was happening. When he came back, guess what? He knew that this was what had happened, and then he apologized to me. On our way coming from the airport, I was moody because I wanted to know what the hell was happening. Why did we have so many charms in our house? He then told me that once it gets dark and the kids had gone to bed, we were going to go into that room, and he was going to explain everything to me and why he could not sleep with me whenever he wanted to. We then went there when it was dark. He woke me up maybe around 12 midnight. I did not check the watch. When we got to the room, he had already lit a thick red candle, and then there was a black cloth that was in the middle of the room, and he told me that the table was the altar, and underneath the table there was money. And I did not see it at first. Then I saw the snake. This snake, Brother Nashi, it would appear and disappear, appear and disappear. When it will appear, then it will just spit out money, but it would happen so fast I could not understand what was happening. He then told me that this was where our money was coming from. The construction on its own was not making enough money to sustain the kind of a lifestyle that we had at the time. Then I started to understand that this was why my husband never complained about anything. If I wanted money, my husband never complained. If I wanted him to do something for me, my husband will never complain about anything. He told me that this was the case. My husband, he had done money rituals. He then told me that he did not go to the Eastern Cape at that time. I said, where did you go to? And then he told me that he had gone to Zim with that other fake Zim Sangoma guy. And I said, but you did not tell me. Why you did not tell me? And he said, I was afraid that if I tell you, you were going to stop me, and I knew that this was the only way that we could become rich. I somehow forgave my husband, and I said, okay, it's fine. And I started to understand that this was why I was now having all of these dreams. And my husband even told me that if you want, we can have separate bedrooms so that you won't feel bad about me not sleeping with you. And I said, no, it's fine. There is no problem. If this is what is supposed to be done in order for us to have this lifestyle that we are having, because I did not know the effects of the things that we were doing. My husband then said, okay, it's fine. I am going to speak with the snake. And I said, oh, so this snake can speak? And he told me, yes, it speaks with me directly in my mind. So I told him that, okay, it's fine. Since he wanted to speak with it and to tell it that it was supposed to show itself to me. He gave me some muti. Those people that say that they saw Tokoloshes, you cannot just see a Tokoloshe before like a traditional ceremony is done for you, so that your spiritual eyes can be open. When I say that I see this snake, I don't see it physically. I see it like this snake, I see it in the spiritual realm, but it happens when I am not fast asleep. I see the snake coming to me, but in the spirit. And if you see a sangoma showing you a snake, know that this person is a magician who is just covering and blinding your eyes so that you can see something in the spiritual realm that is not really there. So my husband then gave me some charms. I drank those charms, and he told me not to be afraid. The snake was going to reveal itself to me that same night. This snake, it came into the bedroom. I had a knock, and my husband told me that it is here, and then the door opened on its own, and I said, oh, so this is what happens when I am fast asleep. I was starting to get paralyzed. When this snake comes to me, I start to feel as if I am getting a stroke, starting with my toes and then all over my knees, my thighs. Then I open my legs, even if I do not want, like I lose control over my lower body, starting from the waist going down. Then this snake, it will come on top of me, then it will start to sleep with me. I will be even moving my waist even though I do not want. That is my life right now. I sleep with this snake. So sleeping with this snake, it is not an everyday thing. Usually it comes to me on a Thursday. Sometimes it comes to me, it's either on a Saturday or a Sunday, but Thursday, it is obvious. It comes to me, then it sleeps with me. This is what keeps the deal running in my home, me and my husband. In order for us to keep on making money, this has to happen. My husband, he sleeps with a spiritual wife. Then on my own side, I have to sleep with a spiritual husband, and the spiritual husband, it is this snake. This is my confession, Brother Nashi. Yo, dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Let us talk with our dear sister in the comment section. Imagine living a life like that. She is saying that this is the life that she has to live. In order for them to keep on making money, they have to do this. Yo, can you imagine? Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Let us meet again in the following episode.